For the first time in team history, the Cincinnati Bengals ran the table in the AFC North, going 6-0 against the Steelers, Ravens, and the Browns combined. And it's put this team on the verge of the playoffs for the first time in 4 years and hosting at least one postseason game here at Paul Brown Stadium. Today's game is brought to you in Sony High Definition. These teams met here in Cincy last season. Bengals won a defensive battle, 16-6. A rematch next. Weather today here in Cincinnati, some snow expected perhaps. Right now, great conditions for football, 34 degrees. Sun is shining. KC has won the toss. Chiefs will receive. Quentin Lawrence back deep to receive the kick as soon as Shane Graham gets it on the tee properly, and we'll get underway.
Yeah, it is supposed to be windy today, Dave, and that's always a price, mostly in the kicking game where that's a factor. Even in the passing game, the ball spins, and the quarterbacks in this league have such good arms. Usually, the passing game is only affected on long throws, but here you see in the kicking game, it'll really be a factor in how long the kickers can go, field goal-wise from end to end, and also in kickoffs, keeping the ball on the field.
So we'll have a holder, going to be Leon Hall, star cornerback out of Michigan. Will enable us to get our game underway here from Cincy. Over the head, Quentin Lawrence, and a touchback. KC led again by quarterback Matt Castle, who had a season in Chiefs' best 313 passing yards last week in that wild roller coaster loss to Cleveland. Castle tells us he likes the no-huddle hurry-up offense the Chiefs will run a lot of today, maybe 60% of the snaps depending on the situation.
And they run it differently than anybody else in the league, Dave. They go fast. When they go no huddle, they go fast, and it gives them the ability to dictate to the defense what they can and can't do rather than being told what they can do offensively.
First play, Jamal Charles drives the left side, stacked up, gets two. Up front, Brian Waters returns to the lineup at left guard for Kansas City. The four-time Pro Bowler missed last week's game with the Browns due to a pulled hamstring. Chiefs coach Todd Haley thinks Chris Chambers emerging at wide receiver, 5 catches, 114 yards, and a touchdown against the Browns last week. Chambers released by the Chargers earlier this year. Has emerged into the top target right now for KC. Movement and a flag with a false start.
Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty at second down.
For the Bengals defense, Jonathan Fanene leads the active roster, 6.5 sacks. He'll try to be in Matt Castle's face all day. Team's leading tackler, linebacker Dhani Jones, 10th-year Michigan man, told us this week this team is ready to clinch the AFC North on its home field here and now. In the secondary, watch out for hard-hitting safety Chinadu Mandukwe. His older brother, Ikechu, an offensive lineman with the Chiefs, is active today. Front play. Charles spins out to the 26-yard line. Tackled by Jonathan Joseph. Jamal Charles has emerged as a big play threat for the Chiefs in the last 6 weeks. Second in the NFL in rushing. Last week set a career-high 154 yards against Cleveland. Scored a touchdown in 6 straight games as well. He has become a serious threat. On third down, needed the 30, gets the 30. And the chains will move for KC.
Yeah, you mentioned, Dave, he's averaged over 100 yards in the last 6 games. You know, he had a couple of games where he wasn't so good right after he got the starting job. And I think not all of it was him. I think some of it was the club kind of getting used to having a different type of running back in the backfield. Now the offense has started to see what he can do and started to call plays in because of his abilities. It's made a difference.
Castle throwing, Cox receiving, the fullback bumped out of bounds. And Dukwe nails him, gain of 5.
Yeah, this is the kind of play that is so important. That first down the Chiefs just got after getting a false start penalty is huge. The fact that they can control the football on the ground, not throw the football all over the field, but just control the clock, stay on the field offensively. This is a big step for the Chiefs, an improvement and something they'd like to do more often.
On second down, A fake to Javarius Williams in the game. Castle throwing. And Chambers can't bring it in at the 45-yard line of Cincinnati. Incomplete.
Yeah, I thought Castle had some guy. Chambers could have made that catch if it would have been a better throw. It's not a great throw. Castle came out, didn't throw that very accurately being on the run. That's a great route. He's got separation. You see there just in front of Chambers is Jake O'Connell. So Castle had some options there and couldn't hit it. Wasn't a good throw.
3rd and 5. Williams stays in the game, featured back, but he's blocking here. Press brought in by Dwayne Bowe. Gets to the 40, gain of 4. That's shy of the first down. Punt situation here for the Chiefs.
Yeah, really, they failed getting the first down on 2nd down rather than that one. That one they got the throw they wanted, they got the catch they wanted. It was just shy. The guy got hit. Bowe got hit just at the line at the marker, short of it. But they really had the opportunity on 2nd down to get that first down, and they end up punting.
6-2 man in the Tennessee, Dustin Colquitt. Will kick. Juan Cosby, the deep man to receive. Hits at the 5 into the end zone for a touchback. When we return to Paul Brown Stadium, Carson Palmer leads the Bengals offense against the Chiefs. A win today by the Bengals, or a loss by the Ravens to the Steelers, who will clinch the AFC North. For Cincy, take on the Jets on the road next week in their last game. Carson Palmer, the offense, out for the first time. Mashi, the tight end, in motion. Benson, the pitch left. And he scampers ahead for about 4. Quarterback Carson Palmer says he's never been through anything like the 4 days of last week, dealing with the death of receiver Chris Henry. He informed the team of the news. Then having to play at San Diego, he says the Bengals have paid their respects to the Henry family and have moved on. They have a job to do today. That is to clinch a playoff spot.
Yeah, Carson Palmer said that trip to New Orleans, where the entire team went, was really a good chance for them to get some closure and to come together and handle it all the same way and feel like a family.
Bengals went on Tuesday. Passing, 2nd down. Ocho Cinco has his first catch of the day and is wrestled down short of the first. Offensive line for the Bengals anchored by left tackle Andrew Whitworth. 6'7", 335 pounds, 4th-year man out of LSU. Manor just had that catch a moment ago. Chad Ochocinco comes into this game needing just 2 TD catches to tie all-time Bengals leader Carl Pickens with 63. He had his 61st career touchdown catch last week at San Diego. Third and 1. Benson bowls forward across the 30. Will have a first down. For the Chiefs defensively, defensive end Glenn Dorsey returns to the lineup after missing last week's game with Cleveland due to a knee injury. They badly need him after giving up 286 rushing yards. The Browns running back Jerome Harrison. Watch out for linebacker Corey Mays. He's had some extra motivation today playing against his ex-Bengal teammates. And the secondary, the matchup to watch, cornerback Brandon Flowers battling a sore right shoulder. He'll be going head-to-head with Chad Ochocinco all day. 7-year man out of Virginia Tech. Goals last night. He's ready, though, up for the challenge. Won't be easy. Benson off left tackle. Has about 3. Hit there by Glenn Dorsey. First tackle today for him.
You see in this first series, Dave, is that Bengals come out, Cedric Benson, they've got one throw out to Chad Ochocinco. It's a very simple throw, just out wide, keeping the Chiefs honest, but Cedric Benson is going to get a lot of work today. You don't come in, if you're the Chiefs defense, giving up that many yards a week ago to the Cleveland Browns and not expect that your opponent is going to run the football right at you all day long, and that's what's happening here in the early going.
On 2nd down. Run play again. Benson again across the 45-yard line, and we'll have a first down. KC's rush defense struggled the past 3 weeks, to say the least. Week 13 against the Broncos, 245 yards rushing. Week 14, Buffalo rushed for over 200 yards. As we said last week, Cleveland ran for 351 yards, including a club record 286 by Jerome Harrison, smashing the mark of one Jim Brown, Steve, last week. That's an incredible stat.
Yeah, anytime you're in a stat with Jim Brown, you're doing pretty well.
End around. Ochocinco from Lavonius Coles, and that sniffed out well. Tyson Jackson was there to make the play defensively, loss of 3.
Yeah, and you watch this. This is where the Bengals are just going to try and get some motion both directions, get the defense all spread out. And what this does is you say, well, they fake it one way and go back to where you were trying to fake it the first time. The reason is it spreads the defense out. They go from sideline to sideline, and a guy like Chad Ochocinco, you would think he would have more space to pick a spot to run the football on that play, though the Chiefs closed on it extremely well.
Jackson was a roommate with Glenn Dorsey in college at LSU. Benson swamped under by Demario Williams, team's leading tackler.
You know, it's been, now that we see a 3rd and 11 for the Chiefs, it's been so bad here for the Kansas City rush defense. I'll give you a statistic. They're averaging in the last 2 games giving up less than 70 yards a game passing. And that's a stat that just says, man, they're running the football all over you. Teams aren't even attempting to throw the football when they're averaging less than 70 yards a game net passing. It's just, it really goes back to the run defense of the Chiefs and how much it has struggled lately.
Solving play, selection breakdown so far. 3rd and long. Palmer some time, throws. Ochocinco, intended receiver, incomplete at the 40. And punt time for the Bengals.
And there you go. I mean, that's, and the Chiefs defense holds. I mean, after giving up some running plays, getting gashed, not really having doing a great job on run defense. The double reverse gets thrown for a loss. They hold another play up, and on 3rd down, they keep the 3rd and 10 pass incomplete, and now they get off the field.
Rookie punter. University of Cincinnati. Kevin Huber will punt to Bobby Wade. Touchback. 51-yard punt for the former Bearcat. Playing in his hometown here. Chiefs have it. 1st down. Good defensive stand for Casey Early. Got to build some confidence. Charles. Hit by Keith Rivers as he gets to the 24-yard line. It'll be 2nd down.
And the Chiefs coming in to today. I mean, this is, they've had their problems of late, but these 2 teams don't play each other very much. As you see, Jamal Charles, look at what he's done since week 10. I mean, this is in the whole league. He's number 2 in the whole league behind Chris Johnson, and we all know the phenomenal year he's having. But Jamal Charles has really, really come on and played well for this team.
Try it again. Tries the left side. Stood up, put down. Close to the marker, about half a yard shy. Hit there by Keith Rivers, former USC Trojan. His first interception of the season last week at San Diego.
As I mentioned a minute ago, these 2 teams don't see each other very often, although they did play last year. The Chiefs have not won in Cincinnati in 25 years. Can you believe that? That's quite a stat. Even though these teams don't play all that often, this is still a game in which you got to go way back to find a point where this team has played well in this stadium. And that was in the old Riverfront Stadium.
That's right, 3rd and short. Charles pitch left, trying to make something happen, lunging toward the 30.
Oh, it'll depend on the spot. Short. Yeah, it'll depend on the spot. They're going to be just shy of the 30. It looked like he had it. And
Juan Cosby, rookie out of Texas, received the Colquitt punt. Low line drive. Cosby on bounce from the 25. Looks for a seam, won't find one. He's snowed under at the 35-yard line. 45-yard punt, 10-yard return. Former Texas Longhorn, Jamal Charles. Ochocinco getting set to hit the field again offensively.
Holding by the kicking team, number 43. That's a 10-yard penalty that will be enforced from the end of the punt return. Cincinnati keeps the ball, 1st down.
Time on the field here in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Johnson. Caught in the backfield, breaks away, and now looks for blocks. He's getting him. Another touchdown. Oh, my.
Genberg with a call as Kansas City's Larry Johnson rushed for 201 yards, 3 touchdowns in a Week 17 win against Cincinnati. One of the great moments in the 50 years of NFL on CBS. LJ in the house here in Cincinnati, but different uniform. There for the Bengals, has not seen the field yet. Cedric Benson has carried the load so far. Palmer on first down, throwing to Benson. Flair screen. Hit by Mike Vrabel, a long-time veteran linebacker, one of the best in the biz at the 46.
Yeah, and that was well played by Vrabel. It almost looked as though he backed out trying to hope to get them to throw it to Benson, and then he closed in and made the tackle. And I'll tell you, Dave, that's one of the biggest differences between bad defenses in the NFL and good ones. It's very simple. It sounds almost too simple. They tackle well. The first guy to the ball makes the tackle, and there you see Larry Johnson, who was a star for the Kansas City Chiefs for years before coming over to Cincinnati.
Second down. Benson on the right side, not much. And Marvin Lewis, head coach of the Bengals, told us this week that this would not be a Larry Johnson show against his ex-teammates. That was not the purpose. They're going to try to establish Cedric Benson as the #1 running back. But, wow, the numbers that LJ put up in KC, so close to becoming the all-time leading rusher behind Priest Holmes.
Yeah, it was less than 100 yards from doing it, and they got some backlash. I mean, he was not well liked in Kansas City before he left. There were some problems, some issues, and right now I'm sure that the Chiefs feel like they've made the right decision despite what Larry Johnson may do in Cincinnati.
Third down. Palmer shotgun over the middle. Ocho Cinco broken up, incomplete. Brandon Flowers, we told you about the matchup. Going to be head-to-head with them all day. Makes a good play defensively. That's punt time for Cincy.
Oh, and that was well done by Flowers. Watch as he comes out. Ocho Cinco runs a good route. He's a good route runner, and Flowers is all over it. Does not believe that Ocho Cinco's going deep. He's got safety help over the top, so Flowers can plant his foot and come up and knock it away. Perfectly played.
Huber back on a punt. Wade, fair caught at the 18. Had some room there. If you want it, former Arizona Wildcat sets up Chiefs for their next offensive possession. Chiefs bring a 4-game losing streak. With this one today at Cincinnati, they'll take on Denver next week to finish up their season. There's one road win against Pittsburgh in overtime so far. Castle on first down, looks for Chambers downfield, broken up, incomplete near midfield.
Yeah, he's been working. Watch here as Chambers works again. Leon Hall, and Hall plays this perfectly. Chambers gets some separation, goes up, but Hall gets his off arm up there. He can't play it any better than that. Now the throw could have been further out there. You see as Chambers comes inside and turns towards it. It could have been out in front of him, but still a pretty good defensive play by Leon Hall.
Charles runs into trouble near the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing offensively for KC on that play. The Chiefs have had so much trouble, Steve, in terms of the differential. Look at this, among the very worst in the NFL in the first quarter.
In the first quarter there, and that's not good company to keep, and it's also the reason why you don't win a lot of games is because you can't get off to a good start. And not only do you do that offensively, but your defense gives up some points as well, and it turns into a huge turnaround that you can't get out of.
Third and long. Castle, shotgun throws. Bo has it. Defense on the spot.
Oh, it's very close. Going to be just shy as well. He had to reach the 18-yard or the 28-yard line. It looks like they might have given it to him on the spot, and they did. Huge conversion there. There's a nice throw by Castle and a great pull in by Bo. Watch as he comes out. Bo's going to fully extend, and he does reach it. I think that was a good spot.
Wayne Bo is the Chiefs' leading receiver, third-year man out of LSU.
When you look back at this Chiefs season, Dave, drop passes have been a killer for this offense.
Boy, sure have. Not that time, though. Charles has some room. Gets by Nelson. Jamal Charles on the move. There is a flag down in the Chiefs' backfield. This could come back.
Yeah, it is coming back.
Holding. Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Brandon Albert, left tackle, guilty party there. Wipes out a gain of 43, and we saw Ray Maualuga being helped off for the Bengals.
Right on the far side, and he grabbed right there is the hole. He's got a handful, and Ray Maualuga limped off in some pain. And that's one of the things that really at this time of year for a team that wants to head to the playoffs like the Bengals do, you can't lose key people, and that is a bad sign when a guy really has trouble even walking under his own power.
Sets up first and long. Chambers has the catch and picks up 7. Let's take a look, Steve, at what may have happened to Ray Maualuga a moment ago.
Yeah, as you're saying right here, as you watch, the play goes outside, then comes back inside. And he falls on the back of the leg after getting cut, and I don't think the initial block was the problem. I think he fell on the other leg, down up high on his shin bone.
Second and long. Castle. Wainbo has it. Joseph wrestles him down after a short pickup again. Brandon Johnson has come in to replace Ray Maualuga, who's being attended to now by the Bengals training staff. He's had a fine rookie season already. Has emerged as an emotional leader of this team in his first year at USC. That says something for a rookie.
It really does. It says a lot about him, and he's been in there. He's been playing hard. He doesn't miss snaps. And they leave him in on every down, which is huge for a young player.
Bengals show pressure. Here it comes. On third down, Castle. Snowed under, sacked. Michael Johnson got there first, the rookie from Georgia Tech.
Yeah, the defensive secondary double-teamed Dwayne Bowe. They single-covered Chambers, and they also single-covered Bobby Wade. Those are the only 3 guys out. Castle didn't have time to step up and find the single coverage, and it caused the sack.
End of the first quarter. No score. We'll return to Cincinnati after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS on the Super Bowl 44. Bad news for the Bengals. Rookie linebacker Ray Maualuga being carted off. And Cincy within 1 game of clinching the AFC North. Bengals enduring their first 2-game losing streak of the season. Just can't seem to close things out.
You can sense a little tension here in Cincinnati about their inability to win the division that they've already swept.
Go quick punting. Juan Cosby receiving. From the 20. Looks for a lane. Cut down by Studebaker after a 12-yard return. More coming up from Paul Brown Stadium next. Bengals take over here first and 10 on their own 32.
Already at 51.
Adjustment for Carson Palmer. And Larry Johnson gets his first carry of the day. Short game. Thought the NFL fantasy football season was over. It's not. Sign up for the NFL.com playoff challenge today. Only at NFL.com/fantasy. So LJ out there on the field. Perhaps the featured back for this drive for Cincinnati against his ex-teammates. He said this week going to be like practice in the old days when I was at KC. Facing his old teammates. Play fake. Palmer. Post route. Down the middle. And it's intercepted. Picked off by John McGraw. Here comes the run back. Close to midfield. 28-yard return. Free safety, John McGraw on the pit.
Carson Palmer tried to get the ball into Lavernius Cole, or no, that's not, it's
Andre Caldwell.
Andre Caldwell,
Yep.
and you see there, he just doesn't have a chance. He's really well covered there by Kansas City, and just, McGraw goes up, Colza gets it all the way back to midfield. It's a huge play for the Chiefs. Carson Palmer, I don't know, that was an ill-advised pass. You could see the free safety waiting on the throw. He just couldn't fit it in.
12th interception thrown this year by Palmer. And Charles on first down plows to the 46-yard line. Time now for NFL Today update. Let's head to New York and James Brown. Talk about those Texans, James.
Hey, Dave and Steve. Houston needs a win to keep its slim playoff hopes alive on 4th and 1 from the 10. Shaw up to Andre Johnson. 9th receiving touchdown of the season for Johnson. Houston up 10-0 over Miami in Miami. Back to Dave Ryan and Steve Tasker.
Jimmy, thank you. Wild card contenders right now, if the playoffs will start. Baltimore and Denver would be in. Denver's got to take on Philadelphia later today on the road. That won't be easy. As Charles is hit by Dhani Jones after a short game.
And that's one of the reasons there's a little bit of tension here in Cincinnati. All the Bengals have to do is win one game or have the Baltimore Ravens lose one. And neither thing has happened in the last couple of weeks.
5 teams in the AFC starting today with 7-7 records. A lot to be determined still. Pass incomplete. O'Connell at the 39-yard line. Good play to Dhani Jones defensively. Sets up 4th down.
Yeah, and you'll watch this. When Matt Castle pump fakes this, you can't throw it in there after you pump fake it to the same area. The defense starts to pinch down on the pump fake. And by the time you get rid of it, they're even closer to the receiver, so you know it's going to be hard to fit in, no matter how short a pass it is.
Jake O'Connell, rookie out of Miami, Ohio, still looking for his first career catch. Didn't bring that in. A couple of drops last week against Cleveland. Goal quick punting. Crosby. Fair caught. Timeout. Second quarter underway. And Cincinnati Bengals trying to wrap up the division title.
Go ahead, Ed.
Another team exactly setting the world on fire offensively here. Running a punch, not a lot of first downs. Carson Palmer just 2 for 5, throwing 6 yards and an interception so far for Cincinnati. Whistles and flags stop play here.
Start offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Play fantasy football during the postseason for a chance to win $5,000. Sign up now for a playoff challenge at CBSSports.com/fantasy.
The Bengals flagged 101 times coming into the day, one of the worst in the league, and the Chiefs are number 8 overall, only flagged 73 times. It's a big difference and an advantage for a team like the Chiefs.
First down. Larry Johnson. Caught from behind by Mike Vrabel. And some Boo-Birds starting to make themselves heard here at Paul Brown Stadium.
Larry Johnson coming into the game, getting the carry on first down.
He was KC's first-round draft pick in 2003 out of Penn State. Second in Chiefs history, just over 6,000 career rushing yards. And set an NFL record in 2006 with 416 carries. 2 1,700-plus seasons, Steve, for LJ in Kansas City. I mean, he was putting up some major numbers.
Yeah, but you think about it, that was really the 2 seasons he had and not much else.
Nothing doing there at all.
You know, and you think about it, he had 416 carries for the Chiefs. I mean, that is a long, tough year. But after those 2 seasons, and really after that 416 carry season, he was never the same, in my opinion.
Off-field issues to do with his tweets. Well publicized. Regular suspension and eventually cut by Kansas City. Picked up by Cincinnati. Third down. Palmer in the pocket. Throws. Brought in. Brian Leonard, the fullback, will not have anywhere near enough yards for a first down. Gets to the 16, gain of 4. And these frustrated Cincy fans, Steve, are letting their feelings be heard here.
You hear it every time you're a playoff team, or you think you're a playoff team or a good team playing against a team that's not so good or doesn't have very many wins. And you think, well, don't let them hang around. Don't let them play good enough. Don't think that they can beat us early on, or maybe they will. And right now, that's what the Chiefs look like. The Chiefs look every bit as good a team as the Cincinnati Bengals do.
Another punt here for Kevin Huber. Bobby Wade, deep man. Fair caught. Chiefs with good field position get it back. The Bengals fans are frustrated. Second quarter action continuing here, 1st and 10 for Kansas City and Matt Castle. Each team struggling mightily offensively. Castle trying to change it, post route, and it's intercepted. And Ndukwe has the pick. Chinadu Ndukwe brought down by Pope at the 41-yard line. And the Bengals will get it right back. A return of 8 yards. Each quarterback now has thrown an interception.
Well, Dwayne Bowe on the inside, on the bottom of your screen, is going to come up and run the post over the top of the linebacker, and he just kind of gives up on it. He doesn't feel like he can even make it a play on it, and here's why. Castle steps up in the pocket, has a guy coming in around him, and doesn't really get that throw into where he wants. It's high and a little bit behind him. You see that? And Bowe doesn't even really make a real effort to get it. He doesn't even think the ball's catchable, but it is by the wrong guy as far as the Chiefs are concerned.
Another big play, and they take advantage. Goes down Cincinnati. Play fake, Palmer. He's throwing. Jeremy Johnson, the big fullback, wrestled out of bounds. Fans on the Bengal bench would like a penalty flag thrown on Mario Williams after he nailed Johnson well out of bounds there. No flag coming.
Yeah, no, it's a nice completion by Palmer. Get the big guy turning up the sidelines on a stiff arm. And then they both fall down. That's a good no call. It's a nice completion. Get Carson Palmer, get some rhythm back. He was 3 of 6 before that for 10 yards. Got to get him involved.
Pick up of 9, 2nd down. Benson has the first as he plows down to the 46-yard line. Gain of 5. Hit there by Mike Brown.
He's slow to get up, too.
Safety, yeah, he is. Update, by the way, on Ray Malaluga, Steve. Ankle injury, left ankle, not expected to return. Now if Benson's down, even more bad news.
He took a low tackle on this play as he came in. Watch, steps right up into the hole. And hard to see what happened there. Tackle made by Mike Brown. Don't know whether it's a Charlie horse above the knee or below. Doesn't look like his leg got bent in any way, shape, or form, but I'll tell you what, if you take a face mask in between those pads, it hurts.
Jumps up quickly, able to head off under his own power.
He has been a real pleasant surprise for the Bengals. They brought in a bunch of guys to work out when they were looking for a running back. He absolutely was the cream of the crop. Everybody who watched the workout, and it was a workout, 2 hours, hard stuff, drills, pass catching, blocking, and he was the best guy out there, and they signed him, and they have not regretted it.
So the interesting storyline with Larry Johnson continues, back on the field against his former teammates. Got earlier this year by KC after the off-field trouble. Harry's here on 1st down, looks for some room. And it's slung down by Williams again at the 40-yard line, and now Larry Johnson and Demario Williams, ex-teammates, are jawing a bit at each other, exchanging some unpleasantries.
And Marvin Lewis quickly replaces Larry Johnson in the lineup. Cedric Benson goes back in the game. There you see there. Plenty of emotion to go around, and that's, you know, when you come back and play your old team, you gotta say something. You just can't help it. You just can't keep your mouth shut. It's the way it works.
Couldn't resist there, could he?
No, you can't. I mean, they're friends.
Benson's back in, by the way. He'll carry. On 2nd down, looking for that marker. He needs the 36.
You know, it's funny when you get guys coming back to play their old teams. It happens occasionally in the NFL. And it's almost becomes less about the wins and losses than it does about bragging rights. You know, it's like having a bet with your best friend. You only bet maybe $1, but you get your best friend and you win against him. And that's what it's all about. Larry Johnson has been in touch with Jamal Charles. They were in meetings together. Jamal Charles said he got a text from Larry, said, "You need to hang on to the ball." Jamal said, "I know, man." So there's a lot of friendship and a lot of affection, even though neither team will hesitate to take a big shot at each other.
3rd down, Palmer on the sneak try.
Before the ball was snapped, timeout.
They got a first down and took a timeout before they got a chance to get it. Oh my goodness. Right. A moment before the snap, Marvin Lewis whispers to the official, takes the timeout because he thinks his team is misaligned. Then they shifted into the proper formation just before the snap. Marvin Lewis, I think, took the timeout to make sure it wasn't 3rd and 6 rather than 3rd and 1.
But they did get the first down, and there was no flag. So try it again on 3rd down. Benson, flag flies again. Mike Brown came up and nailed him.
And now they take a penalty. This looks like it may be against the Bengals. And it is. So they take the timeout to avoid a penalty that wasn't going to be called anyway. They run the 3rd and short play to Cedric Benson and take a different penalty. And that's enormous. And that has dogged this team through the year. The Bengals are 31st in the NFL coming into this game with 101 penalties accepted.
Kansas City has elected to enforce the penalty rather than measure. Holding, offense, number 23, 10-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
And the fullback Jeremy Johnson called for the hold. Coming out right, working against Flowers. Flowers comes in, takes it on the low, and then you see him horse collar, that's it. He did, and the flag came in. Jeremy Johnson horse collared Flowers to keep him from knifing in to make the tackle.
Over the last 5 games, Bengals penalized 47 times, 349 yards. It has been a huge problem plaguing them of late. Carson Palmer, when he spoke to me this week, said 2 big things: red zone efficiency and cut down the penalties. Not happening on this drive for Cincinnati. Sets up 3rd and 11. Palmer shotgun. Bengals need this game to clinch the division. Little time. Not so much time anymore, and down he goes. Wallace Gilberry, 2nd-year man out of Alabama, has the sack loss of 7.
And Palmer had some time to get rid of this football, just can't see it. And Gilberry comes right up, and that's the reason. A quarterback has a better time or an easier time avoiding pressure coming from the sides of him, even though he can't see it as well. When it comes right up the pipe, he sees it almost too well, and it makes it easy for him to flinch.
Huber again. Good pressure, Kansas City. Great kick. Bobby Wade at the 6. Put down immediately. Kyrus Hebert makes the play on special teams. And the Chiefs, only 3 wins this year. They're pumped today. Bengals, last time they were shut out in the half. Week 1 against Denver. KC, week 7 against San Diego. No points on the board here today from Paul Brown Stadium. Look out. Castle collides with Charles. Pass to Cox. On the safety valve screen. That's a pretty good pickup on 1st down. Gain of 8. You know, Steve, the Bengals not playing well, no question. The good news, though, for Cincinnati is that right now Pittsburgh is beating Baltimore 13-10 with 10 minutes left in the first half. If they get the win, the Steelers do. The Ravens are out. The Bengals are in, as we see that Cox catch. Second down. Charles across the 20. Should have a Chiefs first down. Chains will move here for Kansas City. Thinking upset.
That's a pretty good little 2-yard run there by Charles. And I think that's one of the things I've noticed about him when you watch him play after he's gotten the starts for the Chiefs. He's really good, even in tight spaces, about keeping his wits about him, picking a spot, and getting every yard that's coming to him. Sometimes you see a running back that will get tackled pretty easily or go down in traffic. Charles never ceases to keep his eyes open and make sure he goes toward the weakness of the defense, gets all those tight little yards inside traffic.
1st and 10. Tries the left side, looks for the edge. And Duque forcing him out of bounds. Ever seen the boss in person, Steve? I saw him in concert recently. Still great. I mean, he's still fabulous. 2nd down, Castle throwing. Bo can't bring it in. A drop. With Joseph on coverage. Drops Blake in Kansas City in that loss to Cleveland last week. And Matt Castle told us last night we are working hard in practice, not delivering in games.
Well, that's the only way you can do it is to practice. And it looks like to me, Dwayne Bowe just didn't get his hands around in time and get his head around to pick the ball up quick enough to get his hands up there. That would have been a nice catch. But if he would have gotten his head around and caught the ball a little quicker, you can see there 47 drop passes. Maybe that doesn't happen on that throw.
Charles split out this time. Pass over the middle, incomplete.
Yeah, that was
and
early
here
contact.
comes a flag intended for Leonard Pope.
Yeah, no question.
Morgan Trent on coverage. Rookie out of Michigan.
Pass interference, defense number 25, played through the back of the receiver. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Yeah, and it's a good play, a good call because he gets hit before the ball gets there, about 2 yards out. Pope gets hit in the back right there by Trent, and he just doesn't have a chance to pull it in.
Moves the chains for the Chiefs here. With just over 6 minutes left in a scoreless first half. 6-yard penalty. On first down, whistles first.
Yeah, the Pro Bowler Waters moved too quick on the run play.
False start, offense number 54. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Yeah, Brian Waters was pulling around on the run play, and he got out a half a count too quick. You can't miss it. Well, I see how he just stood up and started to pull around in front of Jamal Charles just a little too fast. The Chiefs get the yardage back, if not the down.
10th year pro of North Texas. First down, Castle throws. Dwayne Bowe grabs this one. Let's get a Baltimore-Pittsburgh update. For that, we go to New York. NFL Today update with James Brown.
Dave and Steve, take a look at this touchdown by Baltimore's Joe Flacco to Todd Heap. Tell me if you wouldn't have challenged this one here. A 30-yard pass play. Pitt did not challenge it. I tell you what, it is now a 13-10 ball game. We've narrowed the gap. Back to Dave and Steve.
Yeah, he might have been down just before the ball broke the plane.
Charles belted. Chinadum and Dukwe again makes a big hit. Laying the lumber on Jamal Charles. And going back to that Ravens-Steelers game, Joe Flacco, huge day last week against the Bears, career high 4 touchdown passes.
Yeah, and you think Baltimore can actually, there are scenarios that they can clinch a playoff spot today if they win and Jacksonville and Denver and the Jets and all of that stuff happen. So Baltimore has a lot to play for today.
Big logjam with all those 7-7 AFC teams. 5 of them. Pass over the middle is brought in. Wade makes the catch outside the 40 to the 42-yard line, and that will be Kansas City first down, tackled by Morgan Trent, gain of 5.
And now the Chiefs will go no huddle. I think it's a good move. I think one of the things the Chiefs do pretty well, they haven't done it very much this half, is to go no huddle. It's giving them a boost offensively, and it's taking something away from their opponents. And that's really been a benefit.
Whistle sound before this play.
Yeah, and they
timeout Cincinnati. That's their second.
They forced Cincinnati to take a timeout.
4:25 to go.
30-second timeout.
Coach Haley loving it for the Chiefs. 4 minutes 25 seconds on the second quarter clock. First down, Castle throwing. Dwayne Bowe has it, lunges forward, and he gets to the 43-yard line. Short change.
Yeah, the Chiefs went no huddle very quickly, unexpectedly, caught Cincinnati right before that, having to take a timeout. They had 12 guys on the field, and Cincinnati was just, their body language, they were walking around like they didn't know what to do, and it forced Marvin Lewis to take the timeout. That's twice they've had to take a timeout where they really shouldn't have had to. It's a lack of discipline, a lack of preparedness for what the Chiefs were about to do.
Castle told us we could see a lot of the no-huddle and speed-up offense today. Play fake here on second down. Charles, a little screen pass hit, but did not go down. Ronnie Jones got a piece of him enough to send him toward the turf. It's a loss of 2.
Yeah, Bengals defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer has labeled these guys that you guys, nobody wanted you. Dhani Jones is one of those guys. He was a free agent, was out of work for a few weeks before he was signed by the Bengals. There are other guys on this Bengals squad from other clubs, and even their draft picks. None of them are first-round picks. They were all passed over by somebody, and they've kind of clung to that as a unit, and it's helped them.
Third down, pressure. Castle caught, then gets away from 2 tacklers before he's finally tracked down. Honey Jones from behind made the play. In addition to Brandon Johnson.
And you'll see here coming right off the corner, untouched Johnson. Michael Johnson gets through, and then he steps out of the tackle by Gathers. Finally brought down by the linebacking core. Castle does a nice job, but really on the 3rd and long, unless you're going to throw it, Dave, go down. This 5 yards he got is not going to help this punt all that much. And you take a risk as a quarterback getting a concussion or getting injured.
And they need him for the future in Kansas City, no question. High snap over the head of Colquitt. Chasing it, kicking it, out of bounds.
Now that's a penalty because it's an illegal kick, and they might get that ball at the spot he kicked it out of bounds. They're going to spot the ball where the illegal kick took place. But don't kid yourself. Colquitt did take the penalty. This is a horrendous snap. The Chiefs' long snapper.
Thomas Gafford there.
And you can look. I mean, that's just. Whew. And that could be
illegal kicking of the ball by the punter. That penalty is declined. The play results in Cincinnati's ball where it was kicked out of bounds. First down.
That's it. And that's not all that bad. Gafford made the horrendous play. It's a terrible play for the Chiefs, no question. But Colquitt does what he can do. It's either going to be their ball right there anyway, or a safety or a touchdown. I mean, if one of the Bengals scoops that up and runs in for a touchdown, at least Colquitt gives the defense of the Chiefs a chance to make a stand, to hold them to 3 points. He did the right thing, Colquitt did. And it couldn't have gone much worse for the Chiefs, but Colquitt saved the obvious points right then and there. Even if it's a safety, the Bengals get the ball right back on the free kick.
But it does set up Cincinnati. 1st and goal. Benson featured back here. Trying to cash in. Flags fly. They could be backing up again.
Now, yeah, this is going to go against the Bengals. You can see them sticking their head in the officials' puzzle, in the officials' huddle. You see this quite a bit, not necessarily just this crew, but a lot of officials. I mean, so many guys, they're getting to the point where they see so many things all the time. The officials almost always have to have a meeting about any penalty.
Number 74 is the player who reported eligible. He was in illegal position. 77 did not report. He was covered, therefore there is no foul on the play. The play counts, it's 2nd down.
Well, there you go, and that's what happens. The Bengals go heavy. They send extra offensive linemen in, and what happens is those offensive linemen have to go to the official and say, hey, I'm eligible. I'm now, if I go out for a pass, it's okay, even though I have a 70s number on. They have to alert the officials that they have certain personnel on the field that will be eligible, because all the receivers have 80s or it's teens, and when the lineman's there, they have to notify.
2-minute warning here in Cincinnati. Thomas Gafford on the left, a long snapper for Kansas City, airborne. Snap was way over the head of the punter, Dustin Colquitt. Setting up Cincinnati, 1st and goal. The penalty waved off on the first play. 2nd down now after the 2-minute warning. Palmer, shotgun, pumping, rolling, throws, end zone, touchdown, Chad Ochocinco. And he holds up the 1-5. Remembering number 15, Chris Henry.
Well, the Bengals have been very good at the last 2 minutes of both halves all season. Watch as Chad Ochocinco goes in, tries to run the fade to the corner, then plants his foot, comes back. Looks like he almost steps out of bounds there. And if he did, that's an illegal play. Yeah, and they're going to review this because there's a chance that Chad Ochocinco stepped out of the end zone before he caught it, and that is illegal.
We'll find out when we return to Paul Brown Stadium.
The receiver, number 85, stepped out of the back of the end zone before catching the pass. It's therefore illegal touching by number 85, which is a 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Oh, let's see. It's a regular penalty, so they keep the down but lose the yardage, which is a good thing for the Bengals. It kind of gives them more room. You see there, as we saw it, he stepped out of bounds, and that's actually the best way for the Bengals to get back in this. Now it'll be 2nd and 11 instead of 3rd and 6. They get 2 downs to make it work.
Todd Haley will get the explanation from the officials as well here.
Yeah, he doesn't like the assessment either. He knows I'd rather have it just be an incomplete pass and give him 3rd down and goal from the 6 rather than 2nd and goal from the 11.
So even with a golden opportunity, a great field position after the
you go
snap,
back.
Bengals struggling here, Steve.
Well, you go back and Colquitt did the great thing, man. He kicked that out of bounds and saved the points right then and there, so it gives their defense a chance. And defensive coordinators will tell you, I don't care if it's 1st and goal on the 1-foot line. Just give us a chance. And Colquitt gave the Chiefs a chance to come out of this smelling like a rose.
Turned out to be the right play. Even if you hold to a field goal here, Steve,
exactly.
That works out. It's much better than a touchdown. So all the way back to the 11-yard line for the Bengals. Palmer, shotgun, 2nd down, pump fake, then just throws into the dirt. Incomplete.
They had a screen pass called, and it was snapped off. They had a screen pass to the tight end called. They're trying to get the football to Foshi right here. Why? And he gets grabbed. Watch. He tries to throw the pass rusher past, and the pass rusher, Tom Bahali, knows exactly what's going on. See, they throw the rush right back at Palmer, thinking they can get down the field and go into the end zone, and Tom Bahali grabbed Foshi, who was the intended receiver. He can do that because he was in the backfield. It's not a pass interference.
Struggles continue here for the Bengals. Leonard in motion, 3rd and goal. Palmer, incomplete, feeling pressure again. Tom Bahali was all over him.
Well, that ball was almost picked off by
Jackson.
Jackson.
Was.
Palmer trying to throw it away, threw it right by the head of Tyson Jackson. Watch as Tom Bahali comes off the top of your screen, and Tyson Jackson's going to have a chance to intercept this. Look at this. He almost gets his hands up and goes the other way, and that was an ugly offensive series out of a golden opportunity for the Bengals.
29-yard attempt for Shane Graham, a Pro Bowler, has hit 11 straight field goals for the Bengals. Make it 12. Finally, we have our first points of the afternoon. 3-0 Cincinnati. And Steve, I'm with you. Big hero right now has got to be Dustin Colquitt, the punter.
Absolutely.
For Kansas City,
and
putting that one out of bounds and forcing a field goal.
Chiefs defense stepped up and stopped them. You know, they came in, they didn't have a bad attitude. They weren't, discouraged at all. They had the feeling like they could really make a play and get this ball back, or maybe hold them at least to a field goal, and they did.
Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB and Shannon Boomer and Coach Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report.
Here's the playoff picture. Dave, as you look at it, New England, Cincinnati, both those clubs tied in the wild card, and you got all these guys over here. Houston's winning big in Miami, and then you look at Denver and Baltimore. Denver is limping down the stretch after starting the season 6-0. They've gone 2-6 since. So they're limping down. Now Cincinnati appears to be hobbling in to the finish line as well. Although they're going to, they're in the driver's seat in the division, no question. I mean, when you sweep your division, as the Cincinnati Bengals have done, you deserve to get to the playoffs. Absolutely no question. But I'll tell you what, they really appear in the last couple of weeks to be gripping pretty hard.
There's an update with Pittsburgh. Big game, because if the Ravens lose, that means the Bengals automatically win the AFC North. After Steve mentioned, 6-game sweep of the 3 other division opponents this year. They turn close to the 20 by Quentin Lawrence, the rookie out of McNeese State. 18-yard run back. Bengals, Steve, actually lost 4 yards on that drive after getting the great field position. So Matt Castle and the KC offense back on the field here.
Yeah, and one of the things you'd think about in that crazy offensive series, Chad Ochocinco catching the touchdown. If the Chiefs decline that penalty, it wouldn't be third down, it'd be a touchdown, even though it was an illegal catch. So they had to accept the penalty and give the second down back.
All right, KC, first down here with 3 timeouts. Rainbow brings it in outside the 25-yard line. Honey Jones makes the tackle.
And this is their no-huddle offense. They run it normal down the distance as well, and I think it serves them well in this situation.
Here's Charles. Nelson makes the tackle from behind, but he does cross the 30-yard line for a first down, and they call their first of 3 timeouts remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, and you think, too, and how things are changing and are different across the league. If it was 1:40 to go and you punted the football or kicked off the football to Peyton Manning and the Colts, you think, man, we got our work cut out for us. Against the Kansas City Chiefs, you don't really have that worry, but yet, you know, Todd Haley's out there calling timeouts. Matt Castle's running the no-huddle offense, and this is a time of year, even though the Chiefs are not going to the playoffs, they're getting better. Todd Haley has got his foot on the gas, and so does this entire organization. They are working to get better, and I'll never forget sitting down with Peyton Manning one year after his terrible rookie year. He said, let me tell you something, I learned a lot of good football in the fourth quarter of some bad football games, and that's where the Chiefs are.
Worked out pretty well for him, right? Incomplete, looking for Chambers, nearly intercepted. Leon Hall was right there and nearly had the pick for Cincinnati here in the late going of the first half.
Yeah, Chambers does a nice job making sure this is incomplete. Hall does a good thing. He's not backing up at all, and I think that's illegal contact right there. He jams Chambers 10 yards down the field and then breaks on the football ahead of him. And Chambers wanted the flag and didn't get it.
Would have been Hall's 6th interception.
And this is going to go against the Chiefs as well. Chambers got a false start.
False start offense, number 11. 5-yard penalty. It's second down.
He might be boiling a little bit from not getting the call on the illegal jam on the play before, and that's something that happens sometimes. Guys will, you know, that's the 3rd false start for the Chiefs today on a team that doesn't get called very much, but that's a receiver being a little bit boiling over after a call that he didn't get the play before.
2nd and 15, Castle shotgun. Pocket collapses. Pope makes the catch, makes one man miss, and then is escorted out of bounds. On the far side by Joseph, gain of 7.
Castle's a little slow getting up. The pressure got to him, as you mentioned. He's already limping. He's going to walk it off, and they'll continue to go no huddle as the clock stops on a heads-up play, getting out of bounds. And this, for me, though, Dave, this is not 4-down territory. They'll punt this away if they don't get the first down.
Yep, I agree. Only down by 3 here. On 3rd down, pass. Charles brings it in out to midfield.
And now they'll call a quick timeout. Excellent job. Great job by Matt Castle. Great job by Jamal Charles. Castle seems to be either got another hit on his leg in the pocket, or it's starting to get a little worse after the hit he took earlier on. And that's a good shot he took. Jamal Charles, great. And the pressure's going to come from the top of the screen. You'll see it. Taking the shot from Ndukwe. And you got to be, I mean, that's the life of a quarterback. You got to stand, you know the guy's coming. You got to stand there, plant your feet, and make a good throw, and Castle did.
Looks like he is hurting a bit. Remember, Matt Castle missed the season opener in September with a knee injury, and Brody Croyle, the backup for Kansas City, was a starter. Ndukwe with a big hit, but it was a first down play off the timeout. Castle throwing. Charles again brings it in.
Now they need, after that completion just shy of the 40-yard line, they'll need another 10 yards perhaps to get a real legitimate shot at a field goal.
Rookie kicker is Ryan Suckup out of South Carolina, who's 21 of 25 this year. Field goal attempts. 53 the career long against the Ravens.
That was this year.
That was. Charles stopped by Nelson, gain of 7. Nice drive here.
Now they're going to spike it and stop the clock right here. Save their timeout. Good play.
Which they do. 32 seconds remaining.
Yeah, you really get a lot of benefit from running the no huddle in regular down and distance. It's not a new thing when you come out and you have to do this at the end of the half. 1:40 when they got it. They've used 1:08 so far. of the clock, and now they'll have a chance really to get a couple of yards, have plenty of time with 30 seconds to get a kickoff if need be.
Very efficient drive so far with a timeout remaining. Passing on the sideline.
Oh, well
brings
done.
it in. Bobby Wade, sideline route, 21-yard line. First down, Kansas City.
That was well done by Wade. Caught it, just continued to roll out of bounds. Wasn't touched inbounds by the defender, which was a bad play. Right here, as you'll see him come out, being guarded there by Trent, and Trent just should have just got down there and touched him. That would have made the clock run, and it would have wasted the timeout.
First down. Chambers incomplete behind him at the 12. Leon Hall was there on coverage. All of a sudden, with a straight drive, Kansas City maybe thinking touchdown.
Yeah,
this
was a bad throw on the slant route to Chambers. He threw it behind him, had no chance for a completion. I don't know whether his vision was obscured or maybe he threw it away out there on purpose, but that was a bad throw on a quick slant. But you're right. Second down and 10 from the 22. Take a shot. They've got plenty of time. With a timeout left, 23 seconds is plenty of time to take a shot at the end zone.
Second and 10. Sprint right. Castle's going to run. Got some real estate in front of him and slides down just outside the 12-yard line. He shot the first down. Here is the timeout called by Kansas City, their final play stoppage of the first half. And Todd Haley is out, speaking very closely when Leonard Pope is tight end.
Yeah, he doesn't like what Pope ran up the seam and took it to the post, and Castle's rolling out there looking like he wants to throw it to somebody, and Pope isn't there. And you see there as he plants on the turf, he's kind of twisted his ankle. It's already been hurting, and it just made it worse. And that cost them their last time out, and it takes the clock down to 14 seconds. And now it's iffy. You're going to have to throw it. You can't run the football. You got to throw it, but it's third down, so you may as well take a shot at the end zone here. And I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they maybe give it a shot on a little screen pass or a little bubble screen rather than throw it to the end zone. Let the guy try and take it in, but that's a risk.
Castile, the motion man. Castle throwing. Wade.
He got away.
He sure did. Incomplete. Good coverage on Bobby Wade.
And I'll tell you, it didn't end in a touchdown, but that was a really nice drive in the 2-minute drill by the Kansas City Chiefs. It looked as though there was a false start in the interior. Castle might have thought he was going to get called for the false start, just threw that away. There was no flag. Dwayne Bowe trying to get up the sideline, crosses with Wade. He's open underneath, but the ball's already thrown.
Rookie Ryan Suckup will try a 30-yarder. He's all NFL rookies with 86 points this year. He's had a fine season. Add 3 more to his total. Now we've got a tie game.
Yeah, now for the Kansas City Chiefs, you get to kick it off. And remember, they're not playing the Cleveland Browns this week, so Josh Cribbs is not back there to return this kick. But last week was a nightmare for their special teams, and it's hard to imagine something worse happening. I think what I do is ground this football down the middle of the football field as you get a look at Matt Castle directing that no-huddle attack down the field. Nice job by the Chiefs, and that's why you can tell this is a team that's getting better. I mean, if you look at and you take all their dropped passes into account, you know, you almost think they might have 5 or 6 wins this year. Maybe not more than that, but at least 5 or 6.
I have a Heisman vote. Steve, I voted for Toby Gerhart to win the Heisman this year. I thought he had a better year than Mark Ingram, who eventually won out of Alabama. Closest race ever. Heisman Trophy balloting history. Brian Leonard takes it up back on a squib kick, as Steve correctly predicted. Across the 45-yard line to end our first half.
And it's a good half for the Kansas City Chiefs. Played well defensively. They kept the Cincinnati Bengals at bay and managed to get a nice 2-minute drill in just before halftime to tie it up. Excellent job. And I think the Cincinnati Bengals, I think they really are tense. I think they really feel like they have got to, I think the pressure will be off if they can clinch the division either with a win today or a Baltimore loss. But I'll tell you what, they are really, really starting, to question, I think, the quality of season, the quality of team they are as far as the playoffs are concerned.
Larry Johnson rematching his old team has seen his new quarterback, Carson Palmer, really struggle. 4 for 9, 19 yards passing, no touchdowns, obviously. The interception as well.
Yeah.
It's been a big struggle. Into the first half, 3-3 game. We'll be back with a Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. A little breeze here. Chiefs have got to hold it. Bernard Scott on the return across the 20 to the 23-yard line. Run back of 23. Here comes Carson Palmer, the Bengal offense again. 10 net passing yards. Wow, got to go back to December of '96 against the old Houston Oilers. Last time they did that poorly.
That must have been a snowstorm or something here in Cincinnati. I mean, that was hard to imagine, although we saw almost that in the first half here.
First play from scrimmage, second half. Here in Cincinnati, Bengals need this one to wrap up the division. Benson carrying, here he goes. Big run. Midfield. Pumped out of bounds by Flowers at the 45. Gain of 32 yards.
Well, it always happens. These teams go in at halftime, they get a chance to talk some things over, and the offensive line, most importantly, gets a chance to talk to the offensive coordinator and say, hey, listen, if they get this front and we go in this, they're showing us this front and this play may work. And they'll look at the front, they'll call it, they'll get a chance to get a list of plays together that they want to try in the second half, some of them with wrinkles as to what the original game plan were, and that obviously was one of them.
10 carries, 66 yards for Benson. First down, play fake, Palmer throws. Fashi, the tight end, brings it in. Make that Coates, the tight end. That's his first catch of the day. Genti makes.
Yeah, Benson there stretching out, doesn't quite look loose after the first half. Broke off a nice long run. I'll tell you, if you don't come out and, the first half and the second half right there with one run, it's an interesting point. You go in at halftime, kind of get cooled off. If you don't take the time to get loosened up and you happen to snap off a big run, you might injure yourself.
2nd and 3. Oh! Run play should yield the first down as they cross the 35-yard line. Cedric Benson again, hit by Mike Brown, Chiefs safety.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things, one of the reasons that the Chiefs have struggled in run defense is the fact that they haven't gotten everybody involved. Mike Brown, the safeties, both safeties need to come up and just be a bigger presence. That also goes for John McGraw and Todd Haley, looking for guys to try and fill the holes that they've obviously got in the run game.
First and 10. Play action again. Screen pass. Benson brings it in. 35. Trying to skip outside, find the edge, cannot. Landon Carr makes the tackle along with Vrabel defensively.
It's a nice job on this first series. You can tell already the Cincinnati Bengals have a different tempo to their offense, coming out with a nice little slow screen to Benson, little play action. Let the pass rush come through and then turn it loose. Well run by the offensive line out in front of Benson.
Gain of 6 on that first down play. Tackle eligible. In motion again. Dennis Rowland. See a lot of that in this game.
And that was a big-time run there. And they brought as you said it, they'll bring in the heavy group. An extra offensive tackle in place of Chad Ochocinco. This is an offensive lineman who went in motion across to get there and comes out and kicks out the linebacker on the backside, and you get a lot of weight and a lot of big bodies on smaller bodies, and it's not rocket science when you break it down to those simplest terms. Big guys on little guys usually wins in the run game.
For Coach Lewis, Benson picks up the first down. Effective drive here so far for the Bengals. Benson again. Runs right into Mike Brown.
Yeah, he jumped out of the tackle there in the backfield by Derek Loki.
Already, look at the drive here.
Yeah, that's
54.
Things change
yards.
at halftime. You get in there, the coaching staff gets a chance to look their guys in the eye and talk to them and give them a chance to say, listen, guys, calm down a little bit. And they'll give them some basic things to go out there and do. And then when they start to have a little success like they are in this first series, it will snowball in the second half, hopefully for the Bengals.
Second down. Palmer throws. Ochocinco grabs it. And he's hit by Flowers right away. Forward progress inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. Gain of 5. Steve, I want to know your thoughts on what the Bengals coaching staff would have said. What sort of things would they address based on that 3-3 first down?
Well, in my experience, it was all pretty technical. They say, listen, when they get in this front, we're going to run this play. We're going to run the power bobo. We're going to get into heavy personnel and run the motion to the weak side and run back to the strong side. There'll be some pretty specific ideas about what plays they're going to run and how they're going to change them in order to be successful based on the Chiefs' game plan.
Yeah, it's interesting. Working well so far. Third down. Can they convert here? Pass bunny. Quan Cosby, the rookie who caught his first 3 career passes last week in a loss at San Diego. Big conversion for Cincinnati. First down at the 10.
Right here out to the right of Carson Palmer. Just sticks his foot in the ground, working against the linebacker there. And that's a great matchup for the Bengals when you can get Cosby matched up against Belcher. And it's a small guy who sticks his foot in the ground, just runs away from the big linebacker.
Palmer's hit 3,000 yards this year. The last completion to Quan Cosby, so it's first down.
Blown play.
It is, and he's running. And slides down, no gain. It is was first and goal, be second and goal now. Cannot get a first down from the 10 in the series.
Yeah, Cedric Benson running up to Carson Palmer saying, hey, what was that? We missed that play completely, and that might be Carson Palmer. Because the offensive line looks like they're blocking on the other side. Even Jeremy Johnson runs through the lead blocker to the right. Carson Palmer turns to his left to hand it off. I think Carson Palmer is the one who can blame himself for that play.
He told himself. Converting in the red zone. So critical for the Bengals' success here last 2 games of the regular season. Second and goal. Pass over the middle. Laveranues Coles. Touchdown Bengals.
Well, that's what a great quarterback can do for an entire team, Dave. They struggled all over the football field in the first half offensively, and then in the second half, Carson Palmer comes out on the opening drive, gives the ball to Cedric Benson for a big run, then comes back and completes not long passes, just passes to the open guy. And it turns into a touchdown for the Bengals. A great drive on opening drive the second half.
Shane Graham tacks on the PAT. 10 plays, 77 yards, just under 6 minutes. Capped off 10-yard touchdown connection. Carson Palmer to Laveranues Coles. Scoring drive, 10 plays, 77 yards, just under 6 minutes, and Cole's first catch of the day yields a touchdown for Carson Palmer, who was 5 for 5 on that drive, 36 yards after really struggling in the first half of the passing department. And kicking off. Quentin Lawrence returning for Kansas City, runs into his own man. O'Connell, the tight end. Little Keystone Cop routine there for Kansas City. 15-yard return. Timeout. We'll take one as well. Bengals trying to clinch the division, have a touchdown. First down, Kansas City. Charles crosses the 25-yard line to the 26. Gain of 3. Break down those first half possessions. Only 1 field goal, and that was the last moments of half number 1 by Ryan Suckup.
Yeah, and then you look at this down here. They got some consistency finally. Only 35 yards and then a 69-yard 2-minute drill for the field goal. They're starting to have some success. We'll see if the Bengal defense has made some adjustments and can get back in the saddle where they're used to being. This is a good, athletic, and very fast, physical Cincy defense.
Number 5 in the NFL, and total defense coming in. They play well this year. Charles delay, handoff, nothing doing. Hit right away by the take. Bang Johnson. 6-year man out of Washington, former Chicago Bear.
Yeah, he comes up, gets up the field and spins out, and Charles runs right at him. Leaves Waters right behind, and then spins out, comes right out to the play. Great job by Tank Johnson. He's one of those guys, Mike Zimmer, defensive coordinator, said, hey, nobody wanted us. We can play well together, and they have been, and he's one of the guys that's getting it done.
That was his 32nd tackle of the year. Is that a fine season? Wayne in motion, third down. Can the Chiefs convert? Castle shotgun throws, complete. Wayne Bowe brings it in to the 35. Chains will move for KC, gain of 9.
That's exactly what the Chiefs needed. Silences the crowd. They had some momentum after the long offensive series. And Matt Castle with a nice third down conversion quiets the crowd and settles his own team down offensively here on the road.
Man who's a backup to not one but 2 Heisman Trophy winners at USC. That's just incredible to me to think about. And a roommate, too, of Matt Leinart now in Arizona. Charles stood up, hit hard, really popped by Keith Rivers. Baltimore and Pittsburgh, what's happening? Let's send it back to New York for an NFL Today update with James Brown.
Baltimore fighting hard, drawing within 3 of Pittsburgh as Joe Flacco hooks up a Todd Heap second hookup of the day. That caps a 10-play, 64-yard drive. 2017 Steelers. Dave Ryan, Steve Tasker.
TV, thanks. As you see, top of the screen. Win today. Ravens loss as Bo brings in the reception. Was hit by Dhani Jones after the short gain on the slant route. So the Ravens have to win over Pittsburgh. Jacksonville's got to lose at New England, which is not happening. They're getting blown out right now. Losses by the Jets and the Colts, or Denver losing at Philadelphia. That's a 4:15 game Eastern time. As you see the updated AFC North division standings. Bengals trying to win the division title first time since 2005. On third down pass, the Chambers incomplete. Leon Hall got there, broke it up. Punt time for Kansas City.
Yeah, and this play comes out, Chambers comes out off the line, and he's just going to turn around, and Castle's got to gun it in there, and the ball's late. Now, he could have been low and to the other side as well, but when Chambers comes out, the ball's got to be right now. It's got to be down there and away. He's got to turn around and almost react to the ball. That gives the defensive back a chance to break on, and I think his foot's still bothering him. That was not a good throw.
Limping noticeably in the first half. So a quick booming punt on Cosby. Fair caught at the 10. 48-yard punt. Bengals get it back when we return to PBS Paul Brown Stadium. Four-game home win streak for Cincinnati. They've lost 2 in a row, first time all year. Minnesota at San Diego, both with chances to clinch, but couldn't get the job done. Here they lead by 7. And first and 10 deep in their own territory. Benson on first down. Skips across the 10 and gets to the 14. Steve, that last drive to begin the second half, the Bengals really working well.
Yeah, they had 5 runs. This was the first one by Cedric Benson. Gets him right out to midfield. Big play to start the drive. Get him the screen pass, which was a nice little 6-yard pickup. There were 5 runs, 5 passes, and Carson Palmer was perfect on all of it.
Only 53 first half yards. I'd say big improvement on that last drive. Nice move. Benson again gets to the 20 and is very close to a first down.
And this is where it gets really dicey for the Chiefs. They know their run defense has struggled, and you can't really come back on a team when you're down if you don't have a good run defense, because you can't force the other team to throw it. And now the Bengals quarterback sneak for a first down.
Carson Palmer lunging forward.
And no timeout called that time. In the first half they did that, and Marvin Lewis called a timeout, which took it away, and they took a penalty on the next play.
They did get the first.
Yeah, and this was a quick snap. They ran out of the huddle, sprinted to the line, snapped the ball very quickly, and there was just no stopping it. But we mentioned a minute ago that Bengals, they're going to run the football in this game. They know the Chiefs have struggled to stop it. And now with the lead, they can afford to hand it to 32, Cedric Benson, all afternoon.
Bossy the man in motion. Flags fly, whistles blow before this play gets off. Another Bengal false start.
False start offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty, it's first down.
Yeah, these two teams have had a lot of false starts, and you see there, that's the most in the league behind the Buffalo Bills. Both these clubs have struggled with it.
5 penalties, 37 yards for Cincinnati, and there's Dennis Rowland, the second-year man out of out of Georgia, who often is tackle eligible. Seen that a couple times today. First and 15, Bengals back up 5. Palmer throws. Andre Caldwell makes the catch. That's the all-time record for receptions at the University of Florida. 185 in his great career in Gainesville. Big news, by the way, Steve, with Urban Meyer stepping down last night as Florida's head coach.
Yeah, that's amazing. And for health concerns, I'll tell you, and it goes to show you that, and I've said it before, coaching is not a profession, it is a lifestyle. And sometimes that lifestyle is detrimental to your health.
Emotional. Cheerful meeting with his team yesterday, making the announcement. Press conference today for Urban Meyer. Will coach in the Sugar Bowl against Cincinnati. Bearcats changing coaches as well. Big news in this city. Out to the 28-yard line, it's Benson again.
Well, there you see it. Cincinnati kind of exerting itself. I mean, one throw for 6 yards to the far side, then a run for 6 yards up the middle, and now it's 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3. They just lean on the Chiefs' front 4, get them running, and let Cedric Benson put his shoulders down and lean in, pokes through the line of scrimmage, and lunges forward for a nice gain of 5 yards.
You see top of your screen, 16 carries, 90 yards. The team is 5-0 this year when Benson does surpass 100 yards. 3rd down. Palmer throws, little slant, incomplete.
Well, there you have it. I mean, that's why a running game is so complete. One incomplete pass puts you in a hole when all you do is throw the football. And when you want to run the football, you really can't afford incompletions. You gotta really complete a high percentage of your passes. Otherwise, your punter's on the field all day. You can say what you want to about statistics. It's all about it. It all has to fit together, Dave. And when the Bengals are running it well, they still have to keep their passing game really efficient, or it doesn't work.
We were back on the punt. That was a nice play by Travis Daniels defensively for KC. That's partially blocked. Punt partially blocked. Out to the 49-yard line. Big play for Kansas City. And they'll have a short field when we return to Cincinnati. Kevin Huber's punt partially blocked by the man on the right, Jake O'Connell. There's a backup tight end, special teams ace for Kansas City, yielded a 21-yard kick. And the Chiefs over to tie this game, have it at the 49 of the Bengals. Wells on the pitch, running right, Tank Johnson hammers him. Genty involved in the tackle as well, loss of 1.
Jake O'Connell coming right up the middle, crosses over with his compadre. Working with Andy Studebaker, and comes through and gets the block, goes up high, gets the ball, kicks it right into his hands and deflects it. That's a big play. You don't see block kicks very much in the NFL.
2nd down, Castle steps into it, Chambers grabs it, lunges toward the 40, needs the 39 for the 1st down. And an update on a big game that fans here are watching. What's happening in Pittsburgh at Heinz Field, 2020. So Ravens were down 10. They have rallied and really struggled, Steve, in Pittsburgh. A rematch of last year's title game won by the Steelers. 3rd down, Charles plays strung out. Turns the corner nicely, little tightrope balancing act. And will have the 1st.
That's what Jamal Charles does, and that's something he really didn't do early in the year, but he trusts his speed to get to the corner, really well blocked out in front of him. You see there, Tahani Jones sees it, just can't get there in time. Charles gets right up front. Nicely blocked there, Dwayne Bowe. Little hold there, gets away with it, working against Genty. But Jamal Charles trusts his speed. He told us that yesterday. He's starting to trust himself in the passing game and pass pro and everything, and trust his speed that he can get to the outside, and that play paid off.
Gain of 8, 1st down, play fake, Castle running for his life, throws Bowe in the vicinity, but it's incomplete at the 20. He was well covered.
Yeah, it was throwaway too, yeah.
Good play by Castle not to risk either the sack or the pick.
Yeah, the pressure comes. They sent 7 guys. He's picked up except for the outside guy, which is it's the way it's supposed to be. The offensive line and running backs take everybody they can and leave the guy furthest away from the quarterback free. In that case, it worked, except that Castle still had to throw the ball incomplete to get rid of it.
Just 43 seconds remaining, third quarter. Chiefs on the move here. Second down. Jamal Charles beats some tacklers, second level and beyond as he gets to the 20-yard line. That'll be a Kansas City first down gain of 13.
Oh, Charles, I'll tell you what, he burst to the outside. He caught the Bengals off guard. And that, I think he really shocked him when he jetted up into the tackle area, then bounced it to the outside. The Bengals were caught flat-footed.
Coming off a career best, 25 carries, career high, 154 yards. And lost at home at Arrowhead to Cleveland last week. Charles looks good here. On first down, shotgun, passing over the middle, incomplete. Jamal Charles, the intended receiver, also has been outstanding out of the backfield for Coach Haley. 36 catches coming in.
That was a drop. I mean, it's just another instance where just one of those little things that now instead of 2nd and 6 or 5 or 4 or 3 or 1st and 10, now it's 2nd and 10.
Most in the NFL. Hard to believe.
It makes a huge, huge difference. There's lots of first downs, touchdowns, big plays that are sprinkled in those 48 drops that we'll never know about.
Just 4 seconds remaining in the third. Second down. Shotgun. Pass protection there. Chambers incomplete. As he made the break in the end zone. Coverage for Leon Hall and Tom Nelson. 3/4 complete from Cincinnati. That break is the score after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 40. Great fourth quarter numbers for Chiefs quarterback Matt Castle. 9 touchdown passes, tied with the Packers' Aaron Rodgers for the NFL lead. Can he add to the number? Chiefs fans hope so as we begin the fourth. Big game today in Cincinnati. Bengals need to win this to wrap up the AFC North. Ravens and Steelers are tied right now, 20-20. A Ravens loss puts Cincinnati in automatically. Third down. Pass over the middle. Castillo. Got it. Touchdown! What a catch by Tim Castillo. 20 yards.
You're not kidding, man. He knew he was going to catch that in the midst of the machine right there. I mean, that's like throwing yourselves under the wheels of the chariot to make a catch. It was going to be a huge collision at the end. The ball floats up. It's a great throw by Castle. And I'll tell you what, this is a courageous catch. 3 guys converging on the receiver who makes the 4th guy in the group. And that man, what a great catch by Castillo. I can't say enough about it. Good throw, great catch.
Ryan Suckup has the PAT. First touchdown of any sort for Tim Castillo, a free agent picked up November 17th. Another TD pass in the fourth quarter for Castle. He's got 10 this year. Tim Castillo, third-year man out of Alabama, just signed recently by Kansas City. His first career touchdown, either running or receiving. Big grab of the post route from Matt Castle to tie this game at 10.
Now he gets to do the fun part and cover the kickoff.
Scott beat the receive. From the 5. Looks for room. Ripped down from behind. Andy Studebaker, who jumped on a muff punt last week against Cleveland for a touchdown, makes the special teams play. Chiefs right back in this game with a great catch by Tim Castillo. From the 26, Bengals take over. High game. Needing a win to clinch the division. Or Baltimore loss. Ravens tie with Pittsburgh beginning the fourth quarter 20-20. Benson runs over Brown. Lunging forward. Get to the 28th.
And you look at this, you talk about it, the Bengals look as though they're looking for a way not to lose this game, and the Chiefs all of a sudden feel like they can win it. And it's a difference in mentality. The Chiefs coming into this game, you know, a huge underdog on the road against a team headed to the playoffs, and the Bengals You know, and we kind of laughed. If they were a hockey team, they're gripping their stick a little bit. I mean, they're a little tight.
A little tense, I agree. Coates in motion on second down. Palmer throws. Ocho Cinco makes something happen after the catch. Tamba Ali finally grabs him from behind and stops forward progress. Good pickup for Cincinnati. Gain of 14, change move.
And there's a player down on the far side. As you see, Chad Johnson comes up, Flowers plants, and then that's the difference right there. That goes from an okay play into a pretty good play.
And Brandon Flowers, Steve, is the injured player for Kansas City.
And you know what happened? We spoke to him yesterday, and he said, yeah, my shoulder is bothering him. He's playing with it, and Todd Haley acknowledged it and said, you know, our guys want to play with some pretty significant injuries. Now you see Chad Johnson, and he's one of the guys.
Ocho Cinco. There you go.
And you see Todd Haley shaking his hand, thanks. And Chad is a good guy. I mean, you can say what you want about his antics and changing his name, but if you look at the injury that happened just a minute ago, it happened when Flowers reached out and tried to pull Ocho Cinco towards him, and his shoulder, I'm guessing, probably just wasn't up to it. He's got issues with both shoulders. You see there, his right shoulder is the one that's bothering him, and when he reached out and Ocho Cinco pulled out of his grasp, it hurt.
They've been matching up all day one-on-one. Lots of chatter, as Brandon told us last night, expecting plenty of trash talk. And Chad Ocho Cinco.
The two starting number one receivers there trying to get an earful in with the officials. You see they're reaching up under that shoulder pad trying to make sure that he's all right.
Flowers told us last night he has a torn right rotator cuff. May need surgery. He hopes not after the season.
Yeah, it's an option, though, and I mean, and that's certainly not going to help him any. But you see Chad Ocho Cinco going over and talking to him, and you know, almost to a man. Even his opponents really appreciate his humor. He never tries to show anybody up, never has any vindictive nature about the antics that he pulls, and I think guys around the league like him for that.
Right after the injury timeout, 1st and 10, fourth quarter underway. Benson, stutter step, and runs right into the defense. Hit there by Corey Mays, former Bengal, second on the team in tackles.
Interesting body language here. Cedric Benson looked like he was going to turn around and flip it back to Carson Palmer for him, and didn't really tuck the football away, which is a telltale sign of a little trickeration. We'll never know unless they run that play later in the game.
I'm with you. I thought he was going to pitch it back. Little flea flicker going on there. Well, didn't happen. Second down.
And now you can see the fans getting really disgruntled with the Bengals' lack of imagination on offense.
Team's leading tackler, DeMario Williams, 6-year man out of Nebraska, makes the play, and there are some, in fact, displeased Bengals fans here.
Yeah, some of them sitting right in front of our booth. They are not happy here. They've got a team worthy of the playoffs. I mean, you don't sweep the AFC North and not be worthy of a playoff berth, but they still have to get it done, and these fans are just a little bit impatient.
Not playing like it right now, are they? Third down, shotgun. Palmer, time, throws, incomplete. J.P. Fauci, intended receiver at the 45. Good coverage there from Brandon Carr and from Travis Daniels.
Palmer puts this in here pretty well. Fauci turns around, gets it, and that you just got to catch that. I mean, there's just no excuse for it. That's another drop in this game that's going to cost the team a first down conversion.
Bobby Wade deep. Receive the Huber punt. That's a booming kick. Will check up? No. Skips into the end zone for a touchback. 55-yard kick. Chiefs back in the field offensively when we return to Cincy. Last time the Bengals were in the playoffs, won the AFC North in 2005, which was their first playoff appearance since 1990. They lost in the first round to Pittsburgh by 14 at this very stadium. They'd like to get back to the postseason and clinch it today. They got to win, though, here first, or hope Baltimore loses. KC on the move. Charles with a nice run as he finds the edge. Knocked out of bounds by Leon Hall. Good pickup on first down.
Yeah, an excellent pickup on first down. Jamal Charles continues to just get better and better for the Chiefs. And I think in this offseason and here in the last few weeks of this season, they're going to find new and different ways to exploit his talents. I mean, the guy's got a lot of ability and a lot of skill in different parts of the game. So I think more and more they'll depend on him.
He's a great athlete, too. Looks to the right side. Steps out of one tackle. Jonathan Joseph brought him down after a short gain. He's a track and field star for Jamal Charles. Also a baseball player. Had a little run in the minor leagues. Quan Cosby playing for the Bengals. Played in the Angels system for 4 years as an outfielder.
Well, I think they both picked the right sport.
Good decision, right? On second down, Castle throwing. Bo has it.
You know, all the drops the Chiefs have suffered through, then you see Dwayne Bowe make this kind of catch. This is a ball that comes out, supposed to be thrown right on him, and it's back behind him. And, you know, it's witchcraft. Why these guys catch the great ones, you know, the great catches is beyond me. In fact, they miss the little ones.
Beyond Todd Haley and Matt Castle, too. No question about that. Not much there as Gathers makes the play head-to-head with Jamal Charles. We spoke with Matt Castle and Todd Haley about that last night. Steve, drop passes for the Bengals, plaguing them, leading the NFL in that dubious category. Neither could really give a tangible explanation.
Well, it's because it's not up to them. It's up to the receivers. I played wide receiver for a long time. Not much. I mean, I practiced wide receiver over a 13-year career, and it just comes down to one thing. You got to work on it. You got to catch balls out of a machine. You got to play catch, and it's got to be important to you. If the receiving core of the Chiefs do that, they will stop dropping footballs.
Play fake, pressure. O'Connell has his first career catch. Jake O'Connell near midfield. He was the rookie out of Miami, Ohio. Oxford, the Red Hawk campus. Only about 45 minutes from where we are here in Cincinnati. It's got to mean a lot for him to get his first career grab here. Also blocked the punt in this game today. He's had a big afternoon.
Yeah, this is a career day for Jake O'Connell.
But it does set up 3rd and 7 to the fans. Get involved. Chiefs batting .500 so far. 3rd down tries. And that pass is batted down. Big play defensively. Michael Johnson at 6'7", 260, the rookie out of Georgia Tech.
Yeah, and that's a tough thing for a defensive lineman. You'll see right at the bottom of your screen runs a stunt inside, and when you're 6'7" and put your arms in the air and jump, it's like trying to throw it over a 12-foot barbed wire fence. It's just not going to happen. You got to get it high. Sometimes pass protection is about getting guys, not moving them, but getting them out of the way.
Not an easy snap for Colquitt to handle. Does get a boomer off, though, and that will go 4 yards deep into the end zone.
There's a flag down in the backfield.
There is a flag, some contact with Colquitt involving Morgan Trent.
Running into the kicker by the defense, number 25. It's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
And they'll make him punt it again. And watch, it's a bad snap. He handles it really well and gets it off with a 2-step approach. And right underneath, taking him out. And that really is more of a safety issue rather than it is anything else. It's not really a tough hit, but Ed Hockley makes the call, and the Chiefs will punt it again. And I think this time they'll try and get Colquitt to put it inside the 20 instead of inside the end zone.
Not been a great day for Thomas Gafford, long snapper for Kansas City. Had that airmailed snap first half that cost the Chiefs 3 points. And the last snap wasn't great either. Nice play downfield.
And that is more than just a 5-yard penalty for the Bengals.
Quentin Lawrence, just brought up from the practice squad, has been cut, brought back twice this year. Nice play on special teams. Two weeks ago at Minnesota, Marvin Lewis and the Bengals a chance to wrap up the AFC North. Couldn't do it. Lost a heartbreaker last week at San Diego on a Nate Kading 52-yard field goal with 3 seconds left. Dealing with a tragic loss of Chris Henry. First home game since his passing on December 17th. So much emotion. Benson, nothing doing. Mays hit him immediately. Second and long.
Well, they knew the Chiefs had no qualms. They knew the Bengals were not throwing the football out of their own end zone, and they came after it quick. And it's a good thing that that ball was spotted on the 2-yard line, because if it had been spotted on the 1, that would have been a safety.
Mike Vrabel there as well to help trip up Cedric Benson. You're right about that, Steve. Going the wrong direction. Second and 11. One play again. Nudging toward the 5.
And the Bengals used a heavy formation. They didn't bring in extra offensive linemen, but they moved their left tackle over to the right side. They only had one offensive lineman to the left of the center, and then handed it off and ran it behind him, trying to get a little running room. And it worked. You got 4 yards out of it, but it's still, after the loss on first down, it's still 3rd and 7. And it's almost the point where the Bengals are playing so conservatively in their own end in a tie ball game. And it almost seems as though they're content to punt this football away.
Benson is out passing situation. Bengals 3 for 10. Third down try so far. Palmer. Play gets to Leonard across the 10-yard line.
And that is a first down.
It'll be enough. How about that, Brian Leonard?
And that they have not had a bigger play than that in this entire game. Just when they needed the first down so much, Carson Palmer tosses it forward underhand with his right hand, and Leonard makes it happen. It's a nice job pulling up front by Mathis. Nice play.
Call.
Nice play call.
I'm not sure it's a shovel pass, just a little flip, right?
Yeah.
So first down, Palmer now takes a shot downfield. Caldwell can't bring it in. Incomplete. Flowers is back on the field after re-aggravating the shoulder. Help break that up. Good play by Brandon Flowers.
Yeah, and you know what? Flowers comes back in the field. He's wearing a shoulder harness down his right arm. Stays with it. I'll tell you what, you see on this play, there's nothing wrong with Flowers' legs. Maybe his shoulder, but not his legs. That's a great play. Plays it perfectly, goes in with the off arm, keeps his other arm off the receiver. Well, you got to tip your hat to a guy that has that injury and comes back in and plays so well.
No doubt. Perfectly done. That's textbook defense from a D-back. Pass on the far side is brought in by Caldwell, close to the 20, shy of the first down.
When you talk about this passing game, they tried to find and look for Ocho Cinco on this drive as of yet. He came into this game 79 yards shy of 10,000 for his career. Now he only needs 54 yards for the 10,000-yard mark in the career. And I'll tell you what, that is a bundle of yards. He has been a truly fantastic player for Cincinnati, and I think they need to look for him here.
5-time Pro Bowler, Chad Ochocinco. Third down. Pass is brought in by Andre Caldwell. It will be a first down. Change move, big play, and a conversion for Cincinnati in a tight game. They need to win here today to wrap up the AFC North.
Right on the outside of your screen. He's going to plant, come right back down the stem. Nice catch, and it looks easy when it works. But if the defender doesn't think you're going to go deep, he may put his foot in the ground and step between you and the quarterback. But on that play, easy first down conversion.
Second start of the season last week for Caldwell at San Diego, and that loss to the Chargers. First down, sideline around, incomplete. Caldwell again.
Yeah, he's working against Carr on the outside for the second straight pass. And they had some contact about 15 yards down the field.
There is a
Before the
flag.
pass was thrown, illegal contact defense, number 39. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, and automatic first down.
It is Brandon Carr, Steve.
Now watch as they release, they're going to get up the field. And that, to me, that looks like Caldwell grabbed him and either pushed him and then pulled him and pushed him again.
It's working both ways. That's what Todd Haley's saying right now. Only have the chuck of the contact within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. Possible audible here for Palmer. First down. Play fake. Winds up. Goes near side. Laverdance Colts has it at midfield. Carr shoves him out of bounds. Big pickup. Gain of 21. First down, Bengals.
And they are looking for Brandon Carr. Watch this route. Lavernius Coles goes to the post, looks for the ball, puts his foot in, stops, and comes back out, and the ball was already in the air by the time he turned around on the long throw from Carson Palmer. Great route, had plenty of time because of the play action. They faked the run to Cedric Benson. The pass rush is negated because they think it's a run. Palmer has all kinds of time to deliver.
Some were surprised in the NFL when Coles was available after a 70-catch year for the Jets last year. Benson breaking tackle, second level and beyond before Tamahale finally tracks him down. Gain of 20. Bengals rolling.
Yeah, and this is what the Bengals wanted to do the entire game, not just here in the second half of the fourth quarter. Benson comes up, bounces to the outside, one move, steps through a tackle, and it's a big play. Tamahale finally runs him down, but look at the blocking as Coles comes out, gets a shot on Mike Brown. Flowers with the bad shoulder can't make the play, and Tamahale from the far side linebacking position has to run him down after a huge gain.
Bengals so far win. Benson has the 100-yard gain, run defeated 5-0, hoping to go 6-0. Mike Brown runs into this time, short gain off left tackle. Benson continues the amazing story after last year being released by the Chicago Bears. Well, the Bengals, cardiac cats, they've lost 3 games on their final possession this year. Week 1, Denver knocked them off 12-7 on Brandon Stokely's touchdown with 11 ticks to go. Week 11, Oakland scores 10 the final 33 seconds. And then last week, San Diego's Nate Kitting putting a 52-yarder at Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego to win it with 3 seconds left. Heartbreak. The week that Chris Henry passed away, such a difficult time for this team. Can they rally here? Late fourth quarter, hoping to wrap up the division title. It's Benson again.
Yeah, and as Cincinnati closes in on this, a possession where they could take the lead, as you see there, they swept the division. The Kansas City Chiefs need somebody to step up. The Chiefs, this is at a point when the Chiefs just can't say, well, we're just not that good. They need somebody. Todd Haley needs to find a guy to stand up in the defensive huddle and say, that's it. We're not going to give up. We're going to play. We're going to stop these guys. We're in this game. Let's win it. And to this point, the Chiefs have not found that guy.
Maybe here on third down, someone steps up, Steve. We'll find out. Big conversion try. Bengals pass, brought in. Coles, great move. 10-yard line to the 9. Before Daniels makes the tackle, first and goal, Cincinnati.
Well, it's become obvious, particularly on this series, Dave, that the Bengals are not looking to Chad Ochocinco. The Chiefs are taking him away, so they're finding everybody else. I mean, you look at all the guys, Coles, Caldwell, even Leonard just started out on the beginning of this drive. They are really spreading the football around, and the Chiefs don't have an answer.
And remember, Steve, this drive started on their own 2-yard line. Big shovel pass, the flip to Brian Leonard on the conversion. Help keep it going. Benson tries the left side, and he's dragged down from behind by Glenn Dorsey.
A nice tackle by Glenn Dorsey, but you said it started on their own 2-yard line for the Bengals, and they took a loss. It was back to the 1-yard line. It'll go down as a 98-yard drive, but it's really 99. And the Bengals have a lot of drives this season of 10 plays or more. They're very good at ball possession.
Johnson, the up back. Benson dots the eye. That's the handoff. And Vrabel says no. Shuts him down. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning. Maybe not. The officials stop play with 2:05 to go. More coming up from Cincinnati. Can the Bengals cash in? We'll find out. So, 2:07, and Todd Haley and Kansas City did take time out. Interesting call to stop the clock before the warning would have come up anyway. So it's third down. Palmer, time, throws, end zone. Touchdown, Chad Ochocinco.
that's the reason, really, why you take the timeout if you're Todd Haley. It gives you a chance now. It's 2:03 left, still have the 2-minute warning to go. And instead of wasting it and having a 2-minute warning already passed, now they have more time when they get the football back.
So, Shane Graham has a PAT. 14-play, 98-yard drive, covering 7-18. We saw Chad Ochocinco with his 9th touchdown catch. The 1 and the 5 holding up in honor of Chris Henry. Bengals playing their first home game after his passing today.
A big outside in slant, and that's a great route and really a great catch. The throw was outside and behind him. Palmer throws it where he can get it, and Flowers just can't close the gap. There's so much space out there with the formation and the way Chad ran his route. He went way outside, gained himself more room, and then put his foot in the ground, cut across the face of Flowers, and really that was the difference. Buying himself room at the front end of the route and giving Palmer more room to throw the ball in there at the end.
Tribute to Chris Henry. He passed away December 17th. He was laid to rest in a memorial service in New Orleans, his hometown. This week, the entire team took a charter jet down. So emotional for Chad Ochocinco. He and Chris were close. He said after last week's game in San Diego, it's kind of beyond the football, really playing for Chris Henry. Had a touchdown catch last week against the Chargers and one here today as his team tries to wrap up the division.
And that, for the first time, Marvin Lewis can maybe take a little bit of a breath. What a great and impressive drive in the fourth quarter for the Cincinnati Bengals. They came into this game 3rd overall, as you see there, the 14-play drive. They were 3rd in the National Football League at drives with 10 plays or more. They've had 2 of them today. One that led to the field goal to start the scoring, and then that one for the touchdown to go ahead.
Quentin Lawrence will not take it up. Touchback. Chiefs get it at their own 20.
And that stops the clock with 2:03. They don't get the 2-minute warning. As you see here, Chad Johnson stems to the sideline, then cuts back on the slant, and there's just no way to defend him with a two-way go. He could either go to the corner on the fade route, come back on the out route to the pylon, or slant to the post, which is what he did. And Flowers had absolutely no chance to defend that.
62nd career touchdown catch for Chad Ochocinco, one shy of tying the team record now, held by Carl Pickens at 63.
And this is where they get the benefit from calling the timeout before the 2-minute warning. Now they get first down and a chance, and the clock will stop no matter what.
Castle on first down is throwing. Chambers brings it in on a slant route, makes a nice catch outside the 35 to the 37-yard line. That's the 2-minute warning in Cincinnati. Paying tribute to his fallen friend, Chris Henry. Chad Ochocinco, a touchdown catch to put the Bengals ahead. 1 minute 58 seconds standing between Cincy and the AFC North title. Castle on first down is going to run. 40, slides and gets decked. Hit pretty hard. Ball came loose, but after he was down.
Yeah, you'll never see a fumble when a quarterback slides. It just, as soon as he goes down, it's dead, whether he's touched or not, when he slides feet first. And there'll be no huddle as well here as the Chiefs go back to the drive. Really the offense that was so successful at the end of the first half.
Steelers are taking a 3-point lead on Baltimore. If the Ravens lose, Cincy is in, but Charles and KC have other ideas here to keep things interesting. Chains will move. Jamal Charles, nice first down run for Kansas City.
He's got four career game-winning tying drives.
Hurry up. Castle, sideline route. Chambers! Intercepted, Leon Hall. Bengals take over.
Castle threw the ball down the near sideline, and he needed a little help from Chambers. It was a little too far inside, and his receiver needed to go up over the top and pull it in, but he just couldn't get it done. Well defended by Leon Hall. Watch here as Chambers works to the sideline. Hall gets his eyes right back in, sees the football the entire way, and Chambers just can't get a better grip on it than Hall does, and he comes down with it.
Great catch, Leon Hall, the way down. Former Michigan Wolverine has his 6th interception of the year. Second pick thrown today by Matt Castle. And now just a minute 6 remaining. Chiefs do have 2 timeouts left. Bengals will try to salt it away. Benson. 1 first down would pretty much put this one in the books for the Bengals.
Yeah,
Timeout.
That's the way it's going to be. I mean, a minute to go. They've got a little time to make them punt if they can get a 3 and out, but not much.
Coming up next, Brandon Marshall and the Broncos face Donovan McNabb and the NFC East leading Eagles. Or the Jets try to upset the undefeated Indianapolis Colts. Check your local listings. Big game for Denver, 8-6 after that loss to Oakland last week. They need to win at Philly. Losses by Jacksonville, Miami, Pittsburgh, and the Jets. A lot of things to happen to get in. The Eagles win, and a Dallas loss tonight at Washington, and they will wrap up the NFC East.
This is the time of year when there's so many things to watch. There's more scoreboard watching going on sidelines than at any other point of the season.
Johnson in motion. They run again. Timeout! And a timeout called by the Chiefs. There's a light snow starts to fall here in Cincinnati. That wasn't the prediction all week. Thought we might see a little bit of it.
Well, it was a gorgeous day to begin, early in the morning and even late in the morning in the game at kickoff time. The sun was out and it was a great day out. It wasn't even that cold. I'll tell you what, though. It may be cold in the air may be cold, but it's warming up here in Cincinnati right there as they're going to try and sweep the AFC North. And I'll tell you, you got to tip your hat to the Bengals. If they can manage to put this game away. They swept their division, which contained the 2 teams that were in the AFC Championship game just 10 months ago, 11 months ago. What a season Marvin Lewis has put together here in Cincinnati, and it took an entire team effort.
Steelers still leading the Ravens late, 23-20. One more first down, it's all they need. Can they get it? Benson toward the marker, will not get the first down. Was hit by McGraw and by Brown.
Yeah, now the play clock has 33 seconds on it. The game clock has 41. So there's that many seconds to go before the Bengals are going to be forced to punt it away. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them take a 5-yard delay of game penalty. And you see there, you got to make sure you fair catch it. You cannot return this football. There's just no time. You fair catch it, you put the offense on the field, and you try the Hail Mary. Or the hook and lateral, and the lateral, the Cal Berkeley play against Stanford. You try everything as a last-ditch effort.
The band is on the field.
And now Marvin Lewis now calls a timeout to keep them from getting the 5 yards.
30-second timeout.
All of a sudden, it's down to just 8 seconds.
Yeah, and the Chiefs, you can bet, they're going to go after this one. Now, they got a partial deflection on a punt earlier in the game, and they will be sending every eligible body toward the punter trying to get a hand on it. The problem is you cannot touch the punter. And even if you do deflect the punt, only the guy that deflects the punt can touch the punter on the way through. And there you see Jake O'Connell. You got a piece of it. You got to get more than a piece of this one if you want to make it work for your team. And you know, it's kind of bad as a special teams player. I know we always have one good block we felt like we had a chance in, and if they've already used that up, the Bengals have already seen it, so it's going to be hard to surprise them with anything new. But you can bet that the intensity's ratcheted all the way up.
Good snap for Huber, gets it off. Knuckler, Wade calls for the fair catch, can't make it though. He grabbed the ball, he did call for the fair catch, remember.
Yeah, now he won't. Now this play, they may have some time on the clock because once he calls for a fair catch, he cannot advance it. Now, if the time ran out, Cincinnati can always decline the penalty.
Clock reads zeros.
can see he couldn't, it was such a bad punt, he couldn't get there to catch it. But once he calls a fair catch,
The game is over.
it's a fair catch for everybody, but it doesn't matter. As you heard, Ed Hockley said the game is over and Cincinnati is the AFC North champion.
First time since 2005, the Cincinnati Bengals win the division.